Welcome to Unit 2 in the series, Special Interests in Regular Schools. Unit 1 discussed special interests, the names they're known by, and how they've been perceived historically and through the medical model lens. And now let's switch from talking about what they are to why they matter. The information I'm presenting you with was part of my master's degree in specialist teaching. I wanted to look at how special interests could be used in classrooms to promote success for everyone. Specifically, as a specialist teacher, I wanted to see how I could help colleagues put things into practice that I knew worked really well when I did one-to-one sessions with students. And I knew firsthand the transformative effects incorporating special interests had. And I'm not greedy, I wanted to share with my colleagues. So when you research, you've got to make sure you hit that sweet spot of balanced information from valid research and the participants who the research subject impacts in this case, and in most educational cases, the family and the children, and the people in the field, so teachers in this case. I looked at journal articles, and you've seen some of them in Unit 1. I had interviews with autistic school leavers and autistic rangatahi who have left school, and whānau of autistic young ones. I didn't get to, but I'd really like to work with non-speaking students, but that's in the next steps basket. And I talked with specialist teachers and teachers in the mainstream. I've got daily contact with them. I didn't actually officially interview them. Before I show you what I found out, I wanted to share that when I was looking at the articles, I noticed a shift in perception about special interests. The earlier research was all obsession, and the newer ones are looking at them in a strengths-based way. And there's lots of reasons for the shift. There's been a change in the psychological approach, moving away from pathologizing, and because we're hearing more from autistic people themselves. So here's what some of the research was showing me. If you leverage special interests in the classroom, or anywhere for that matter, you can probably see the links between them. So if you have one, you'll get the other kind of deal. Like Pisupo and rice, peaches and cream, Donnie and Marie. I'll explain support for learning a bit more on the next slide because it seems like we'd have to increase support, but that's not what I'm meaning. So Wood shared in her study that a young boy, Pieter, was having a time. He loved dinosaurs, and the other kids would find them for him and make rah noises, so he had some social interaction there. But his teacher thought it was a distraction and prevented access, and nobody really expected much of him. The interactions Wood records are actually quite distressing. And then the teacher started using dinosaurs, and boom shanka, he's complying, he's engaged, he's leading activities with his TA, who starts praising him and calling him beautiful and a good boy. So he responds positively when she asks him to do something that he doesn't usually want to do because now they've got a relationship. But this also led to a decreased support as well because he was more independent. So the amount of support he needed for learning decreased. And here are some of the findings shared with me by whānau and young autistic adults. Again, you'll see one thing affects the other. One great learning for me as I talked with people was the common theme of being able to interpret the world through special interests. They're not saying make it make sense so much when it filters through the rules of something that they've deeply engaged with. And not everybody recognized that that was happening, but while I was speaking to them, I could see the link. Oh, this was lovely. A mum told me that her young one, whose special interest was foxes, didn't like school. So she was a fox. The other kids were the unpredictable, jumping out from nowhere sheep that needed to be kept in line. And there was a very trusted teacher who was a collie dog who helped her with herding. So there she is, interpreting the world. Her mum made some foxtails and she was able to connect with other children and sashay around being foxes with her peers. This quote from an interview very much moved me about looking so beautiful and calm and happy when you're engaged in your special interest. It made me think of a time when I saw the documentary about this young boy and the narrator was saying that he was autistic. And I was watching it thinking, I don't think he is. And I've got a little bit of experience with this. I don't know why they keep calling him an autistic. And then I kept watching and thought, why do I not think he's autistic? And I realized it's because he looked to happy. I'm used to seeing, unfortunately, dysregulation and sadness as the norm, and it seems ridiculous to say autistic people shouldn't be happy or don't look happy, but we just don't see it because we need to bring it in, and using special interests is one way to do it. So here's how I started conceptualizing the links and the interconnectedness of elements for success. If we get one, we get that. If we get another, we increase the likelihood of that. And underpinning it all, though, is meeting sensory needs. And can you see where special interests might come in? Yep, it's with the sensory a lot of the time. So the importance of both for functioning can't be underestimated. And if you steal my working model and you make it yours, I will find you and I'll hunt you down. But you may use it to help people who play with dinosaurs and who are foxes to learn about social interactions. Feel free. So, if it's that great, why aren't we doing it? As well, you may ask. Let's hear from our next circle of evidence, pono, practitioners, the teachers. Now, don't come at me. This looks like it's the teachers that are holding it all up. But remember, though, they're at the pointy end of it in schools, and parents are at the pointy end of it at home. And not every teacher sees special interests as a distraction, but there are definitely some holding up the arrival of the inclusion train. And some of these concerns come from a perceived lack of support or lack of experience or knowledge. And we weren't taught how to plan inclusively. Well, if we were, I missed that lesson. And it ended up researching it for the rest of my career, but that's another slideshow. Suffice to say, here we've identified a circle where we can start working for change. And we have to make a change because it wasn't all sunshine, lollipops, and rainbows in the other circles of evidence either. There were always subtleties. And more than one parent shared with me how their child was deeply depressed, or they questioned why things had to be so hard for them, or why they were even on earth. Imagine such a small child saying something like that. So I think we can figure out how to do planning with flags, people. Okay, so let's go back to the practitioner issues. So let's choose one of these now, or think of something that's a thorny issue in your context if you're a teacher. Pick a card, any card. I feel like a magician. Pick an issue. I will wait. One of your own, one of your neighbours. And when you've got one, so hold on to the issue while we run you through this model. Remember when I told you about the swing towards looking at things in a strengths-based way? And this is one of the tools that was developed to help people reconceptualize wicked issues rather than crying into their beers, although there's always a place for that. This model was put together by a chap named Cooper Ryder, and I'll reference him properly later. Now let's grab an issue and put it through the 4Ds. I'm going to take balancing goals with special interests. So the child has something to do, a curriculum thing, and I'm afraid that their special interest is going to get in the way, but I know they want to use their special interest and I know all the good things it can do. So we've got curriculum requirements versus motivation through interest. So let's start with the first D, discovery. Appreciate what it is. I appreciate that I've got a way to motivate a student. And then we've got dream. Imagine what it might be. So he shows as much interest in his schoolwork as he does in his interest, and he achieves, and it's amazing, and I get Teacher of the Year. So design, determine what it should be. What I will design is a new planning format that puts his love for, let's say, Sonic the Hedgehog at the center of everything. Design a program around that. Sonic maths, how fast can Sonic run? Sonic reading, yep, no issue. ChatGPT can run me up a Sonic story. Sonic writing, absolutely no issue. I need not go on. So, delivery, what will be, I kind of just covered it, but it also means that you can get everybody on board to help you do it from every circle. So there's research out there to help me. There's parents will tell me what's happening at home. My other teacher friends are going to show me some resources. Oh, this is the bit where I tell you about how to get access to some resources around this topic. If you like a bit of getting stuff sorted and you're watching this on YouTube, you can click on the Google Classroom link to finish off the learning in this unit. And you could come over to Room B on the Facebook page to join the discussion about inclusion in schools. The next unit will be on how to plan for special interests. So you might want to jump in there, feel free. And if you are from Room B already, then you've got access and you can join the Google Classroom as well. So here's some of the things I've included. I love this one about the 5 neurodivergent love languages, info dumping, parallel play. Please crush my soul back into my body. So in the classroom for the module, there's resources for making connections and understanding neurodivergent love languages. There's the usual quiz, the provocation, and videos on different subjects. I've made absolutely sure to include information on sensory profiles and things like that. It's really good. I'll be adding, and I hope you will too, to the resources constantly, and you'll know what's in there if you're in the Google class. If you've got some ideas and you're watching on YouTube, feel free to just pop it in the comments. So once again, thanks for having a look at what we're doing. Feel free to join in the way you most feel comfortable through the units, joining Room B, or using the information on the videos. So peace out and have a 4D day.